Looks good. Looks good. We good. We're good. We're good. We're fine. Okay, good. Okay. We're good. All right. So, unbeknownst to us, there was a master thief at work on a regular basis. It's the baby! I'm telling you, the baby is the master thief and the steak fiddler. The place was already a scene of several crimes, it seems. I don't know about the master thief part. But the identity of the person who stole and hid Karu's son's Koban is all too clear. What? I think the court would like to hear the defense's view on this matter. Tell us, who is the despicable scoundrel that stole... we know who it was. It has to be. It has to be.
Take that!
Obviously, it can only be you. Sergeant yes or no, sir. And your little baby, too. How dare you? You monster. Monster. I stole that Koban, did I? I'm the master thief of La Carnival, am I? You're seriously accusing me of crimes, cadet? But it wasn't me. Hell, it was the baby! It was the baby's the mastermind! It was totally the baby! 100%! We knew it from the get-go! Guilty baby! Totally guilty baby! We knew it from day one, baby! We knew it from day one! Clear as day! You would push the blame for your crimes onto your own son, an innocent little baby? You who's the monster, Sergeant Nosa. Ooh. Woo. Have we got a Ratatouille situation here? Is this a Ratatouille situation? Nippon Imperial Army Sergeant yes or no, so preparing to stand down in the Supreme Court, sir. Do any of you know of the extraordinarily low wages the Nippon Imperial Army pays those it expects to keep our country safe? I understand that the temporary increase in taxation owing to the recently ended conflicts remains in place. And I have heard it's hard for lower-ranking officers, soldiers to make a living, yes. All I want is to put a hot meal on the table for my son. That's why you were stealing things at the restaurant? This place is heaving with money. Every 3 days I go there and do reconnaissance for a target. And I'd enjoy chomping my way through a good steak at the same time. Is it an expensive restaurant? So you go to an expensive restaurant, order an expensive meal because you can't afford to feed your kid. Every 3 days you're having like a restaurant quality steak. You're a fucking moron, dude. Sounds like he doesn't bother with a knife and fork even, which is worryingly believable. And your target that day was the old man and his Koban. Yes, sir. He was an easy mark. I slipped the coin into my pocket without any trouble at all. A veritable phantom thief you are. I was all set to leave the steak I was halfway through devouring when it happened. But the professor was shot. I knew that if the police conducted a search and found the coin in my pocket, I'd be finished. I know too. So I hid the incriminating evidence as fast as I could on the double. I slipped it under the steak, hoping that I'd be able to rendezvous with it again at a later date. This is ridiculous. I agree. I agree, and I'm totally on board. I agree, and I'm absolutely on board. Perhaps you could carry on with this absurd prattling in your own time. Well, Miss Brett. Oh, of course, dear lady, of course. How rude of us. No, because that wasn't the right steak. I'm quite sure there's no need to detain you any longer at all. Objection! May the esteemed gentlewoman please be excused, Your Excellency. No! The theft of the gold bar was... That's not why we're here! The coin! It certainly appeared to be unrelated to Dr. Wilson's murder. Of course it is. Hiding a coin under a lump of meat. The sheer nonsense of such an idea astounds me. Nonsense, is it? Well, oof. 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 And as for picking up your steak and biting into it without using a knife and fork, it's beyond nonsense. It's pure madness. Very well. Now that all questions concerning this witness has already been answered, I see no further justification for detaining her. Miss Brett, you are free to leave? No! Good luck, everyone. And good day. Oh, no! Objection. Objection. What's the matter? This is no time for daydreaming. Oh, no, it's just something about Miss Brett's parting words. They're got to be thinking. I can't quite work out what exactly. But something she said jarred with me. I feel like there was a contradiction in there somewhere. Something didn't quite add up. What? If that's the case, don't start a thing and make your voice heard. You can think later. But if you don't call it now, it'll be too late. The trial will be over.
Hold it!
Miss Brett! What is it now? I'm afraid just one last time. There's something I'd like to ask you. What did she say? I would like you to explain the contradiction in your parting words from just a few moments ago. What are you talking about? What contradiction? What new student nonsense is this? What parting words are you talking about? She said good day. Hiding a coin under a lump of meat. The sheer nonsense of such an idea astounds me. Oh, because they eat with their hands? They eat the steak with hands? Wait, did the professor... What? The knife and fork. Yeah, it's the knife and fork, but I'm not sure why. And that's for picking up your steak and biting into it without using a knife and fork.
Power up.
Beyond nonsense. It's pure madness. But we know that's not her steak because it's the sergeant's steak. There's another steak. If Miss Barrett's words are truly contradictory, where is the evidence to prove it? The picture of the bite marks? The meal Miss Barrett ordered for lunch has teeth marks in it, yes. Can we zoom in on those? Is that going to peel the steak up again? It is. Yeah, but we've got to be careful which one we present. If my spies were truly contradiction, where is the evidence to prove it? It's either the steak with the teeth marks in it, or the knife and fork. Alright, we're going in.
Take that!
What's interesting is the plate of steak that you can see on the victim's table. The steak that Miss Brett had been eating before the professor was killed. More accurately, Your Excellency, the steak that was on the victim's table just before the professor was killed. And you're just splitting hairs. Not true. Doesn't something about the steak strike you as very unnatural? Natural? What on earth do you mean? It's extremely obvious. I'm talking about the shape of the edge where it's been eaten. Ah! I see you've noticed it too, Miss Brett. Noticed what? Just a few moments ago, Miss Brett claimed no Englishman would even contemplate picking up a steak and biting it without using a knife and fork. Of course she did. She's a refined English gentlewoman herself. Then take a good look at this steak, in particular the edge where it's been eaten. As you can see, there are clearly defined barbaric teeth marks there. It looks like Miss Brett has realised something. If the witness, as she claims, wouldn't contemplate eating with anything without using a knife and fork, there shouldn't be teeth marks in the steak at all. What is your point? Perhaps the delightful Miss Brett was ravenously hungry. Oh, whatever you say, dear lady. As I said, I really must be leaving now. Afternoon tea with the Minister of Justice cannot possibly wait any longer. Of course. This will be over in the blink of an eye. Rest assured, I'm about to put this rookie in his place. Just leave everything... I've heard enough, you irritating little spectacled samurai relic. Of course. Dear lady! What's the matter, Miss Brett? Have you ruffled your feathers? Clearly, the witness knows what this means. She's realised the catastrophic implications these teeth marks in the steak have for her. Do you know where you're going with this? Yes, I do. Now, at last, it's all come together. That mysterious teeth marks in the steak had allegedly been eaten without cutlery. The reason why the bloodstain I know I saw somehow has to have disappeared. This is not your steak at all. And most importantly, the evidence that proves once and for all who shot Dr. Wilson that day. I accept that these teeth marks in the steak are a little unnatural, as you put it, Counsel. But what exactly are you suggesting that tells us? Everything, Your Excellency. Everything. Yes, I believe that these barbaric teeth marks in the steak here amount to conclusive evidence in this case. Evidence that will prove beyond any doubt who shot Dr. Wilson. Conclusive evidence? How many times have I heard that today? You wouldn't know the meaning of the phrases. You smashed up the conclusive evidence. Shut up! How can you be so sure? Oh, it's quite simple. If you really had such conclusive evidence, you would have presented it to the court long ago. Actually, the evidence I'm talking about hasn't been brought before the court yet. More evidence? But just because it hasn't been shown yet, doesn't mean that the evidence does not exist. This is absurd. The trial has run several hours already, and you're saying there's evidence yet to be brought forward? There can't be. I don't believe you have it. I don't. But there is someone who does have it. Someone in this very room. And if that person is willing to submit the piece of evidence I'm referring to, it will solve every remaining mystery about this case. Very well. I have a feeling this will be my last request of the defense in this trial. Who possesses the conclusive evidence that will reveal the truth about this whole affair? I don't know. I think it's the waiter. Yeah, it's got to be the waiter, right? It has to be. Oh, God, if we fuck this up. I'm nervous. Even though I know it's the waiter, I'm so nervous.
Take that!
The answer is obvious, Inspector Hosonaga. What? I have it? Yes. You think I've been withholding conclusive evidence? No, I'm not saying that. Everyone's attention has been focused on this steak with teeth marks. Now, earlier this afternoon, Sergeant Nupss told the court the following. I'd enjoy chomping my way through a good steak, and as well as admitting to stealing the coin. Watch it, cadet. I'm a superior officer. You're going to jail, son. Sergeant Nupss, could you please confirm something for me? Was the steak that you put the coin under your steak? Attention! Affirmative, of course. I might be a soldier in the Imperial Nippon Army, but still. I'm not brave enough to ask a foreign gentle lady if she'd mind me manhandling her meat to hide something in it. In other words, the steak that the detective submitted as evidence earlier was in fact Sergeant Nupss's. That makes no sense. That plate was taken from the victim's table. Yet the gentlewoman doesn't take bites out of her steak, nor did she have any opportunity to steal the coin. Of course I didn't steal it. To even suggest such a thing would be an affront to the entire British Empire. Well then, how do you explain this paradox? Exactly. Surely you're not going to suggest that the sergeant switched the two steaks over? You did switch the plates? No, sir! When I saw the civilian had been murdered right in front of my eyes, I panicked. As I said, I immediately lifted my beef and hid the coin underneath it. But then when the waiter announced he was an undercover policeman, I thought I had it. I had decided to investigate my slab of meat. Oh, if he had decided to investigate my slab of meat, that'd be it. I'd be getting my marching orders. So when the cadet here was arrested and taken off to the kitchen, I seized my chance. With military precision and timing, I switched my steak with one of the foreigner's ladies' table. What? You can't have. I never saw you do such a thing. It was called Operation Lightning Bolt. There was no time for strategic planning. It was do or die, I tell you. So yes, I did what had to be done. Unbelievable. However, fear not, prosecutor son. What now? I swear on the brass buttons of my uniform, that is all I did, sir. All you did? That's plenty, sir.
Yes.
So Sergeant Nupss switched the plates over. It means he took Miss Brett's steak and the plate it was on back to his own table. That follows. Inspector Hosonaga, do you have a second plate of steak? Earlier in this trial, you told the court this. You said that you had not only taken Miss Brett's steak after the incident, but also the sergeant's. That to preserve evidence, you had taken both. That's correct. Then please present it to the court now. The plate that was actually on the victim's table at the precise moment he was shot. What could possibly tell us now? I mean a cold slab of meat. They can't have the slightest bearing on this case. No, you're not wriggling your way out of this time, lady. I beg your pardon. Surely you're not that forgetful. Surely you remember the reason why the steak pan promises to prove such a problem for you now. You're the ones who decided it was a problem, not me. The reason the defense asked to see that plate was confirm something the defendant remembers seeing. Thinks he remembers. I'm quite sure of what I saw, Miss Brett. On the side of the plate that was on the table directly behind Dr. Wilson. There was a clear spattering of blood from the gunshot wound to the victim's chest. I believe the defendant's memory serves him well. And now we have the evidence to prove it. The plate you were eating from, Miss Brett. Let us not prolong this any further. Inspector, you will show the evidence to the court. Present the beef that was originally on the victim's table at the time of the incident. Yes, sir. Sorry for keeping you. Here is the other steak in its plate. Please feel free to examine it. The blood stain. It's clearly visible. Now this makes everything clear. The blood you could see on the side of the plate shows that at the moment the victim was shot, he was facing the table with his back to me. In other words, it's impossible for Anudo-san to have shot the victim. It can't be! In fact, there's only one person who could possibly have shot Dr. Wilson from the front. And I'm sure everyone knows by now who that person is. Take the plate away! She's going to eat the steak or something! That's right. Miss Giselle Brett. It is you. The swan died! Oh, good God. Oh, my God. The swan's... God. Outdone by a Japanese me, by a Japanese schoolboy. No. Swan attack! It's laying chickens! That was pretty weird, wasn't it? Oh, she didn't go to heaven? Please excuse my little outburst. I briefly lost my composure. Huh. Most unbecoming behaviour for an English gentlewoman. Forgive me. Well, Miss Brett. That was pretty weird, wasn't it? I think it's time you told the court what actually happened that day. The truth this time. Gladly, Your Excellency.
Gladly.
Emma, you've no idea what kind of day we've had. We have had a day. It's up there. It was I who took the professor's life. She admits it! Using Kara. As you surmised, I chose that particular day for one very important reason. The professor had a dental appointment for the extraction of one of his teeth in the morning. So you planned to kill the professor, knowing that no trace of poison would be found in his water. Because Kara is unheard of here in Japan. Yes. Of course, I never intended to remain at the restaurant for as long as I did. I only needed to see the professor take one tiny sip of his water and it would be all over. I would place the steak I had ordered in front of him to make it appear as though he had been dining alone, and I'd leave immediately. However, before any of that happened, there was an unexpected visitor at the professor's table. That would be me, I suppose. Yes, you. Who else? Such a trifling matter. But the fact you decided to come over to greet the professor meant that I had lost my chance to slip away unnoticed. In due course, the professor took a sip of his water and was paralyzed. I made sure he was sitting in his chair such that he wouldn't fall. There was no going back at that point, so I concocted a plan on the spur of the moment. A plan to pin Dr. Wilson's murder on this innocent man. I happened to know that the professor always carried a gun. I decided to use that fact to my advantage. I had the bottle of Curare in my handbag, and my own pistol concealed under my skirt. I told you if we could have just looked under a skirt, we would have found it. Under your skirt? So I was right. There were 2 guns. Yes. And then I finished my coffee and got up to leave. That is when I noticed the professor's gun, which you had presumably placed on the floor. Placed where you were sure that I would notice it. And everything went according to plan. You noticed the gun as I'd intended. And then, just as you bent down to pick it up, that's when you shot the professor with your own gun. Even though at that point he was already dead. Naturally, the gunshot caused a commotion, at which point the waiter appeared. Obviously, I assumed Neruda-san was the culprit and apprehended him. I took him to the pantry that adjoins the kitchen and locked him inside. That's when I took the opportunity to turn the professor in his chair around. Because, of course, you needed to make it look like the defendant had shot Dr. Wilson from where he'd picked up the gun. There you have it. That's it. The entirety of my misdemeanor. Your Excellency? Yes? I wonder. Might I speak with you in private later? Oh, no, no, no. I shall call on you. She's gonna get away with it! Thank you. Good day then, everyone. I hope you can forgive me, Naruto-san. We don't even get a guilty! 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 The trial has run its course. I presume the prosecution is in agreement. This can't be. Takatsuki Ouchi does not lose. Not to the likes of this rookie student. You better start getting used to tough opposition. Ah! Naruto. Yes? This insult to the Ouchi family name will never be forgotten. You've become conceited with age, Counsel. But the old have to stand aside and make way for the new. It's the way of the world. May you never forget that. Game is batshit. It's absolute batshit. Oh my god. 1,000 millennia may pass, and still the Ouchi clan will never measure up to Naruhodo clan. Naruhodo, I think. This trial in the Supreme Court of Japan will, I believe, go down in history as the start of a new chapter in our country's judicial system. Despite being summoned as the accused, you, Ryunosuke Naruhodo, presented an excellent case. I thank you, Your Excellency. The use of evidence deduction to unravel the truth is a modern methodology. The use of evidence, kind of modern, really. After all, there's only been a few short decades since our country opened its doors to the wider world. But the Western ideas of science are rapidly gaining acceptance here. I feel sure that science will soon bring new methods of investigation and new procedures of justice. A new future of law awaits, but what will it look like? I cannot begin to imagine. That is for the young to pursue. Azuma Asogi? Yes. After this trial, you are set to embark on a journey of discovery to the illustrious British Empire. Learn all you can. Absorb everything of the wider world that you are able to. And do not forget to fulfill the mission imposed upon you. I understand, Your Excellency. He's on a super spy mission? What was that about? Why do you look so grave all of a sudden? Never mind. As for you, Rinosuke Naruto. Oh, yes. In you I sense, how can I put it, unusual potential. I very much look forward to seeing how you carry that onwards. Thank you, Your Excellency. It is time to deliver the final verdict. I hereby find the defendant, Naruhodo. We did it! We did it! The court is now adjourned. That, indeed, was the tutorial. That's the tutorial case. That's just the warm-up. Can't believe it. I can't believe what's happened. I made it. I defended myself and made it through that horrendous trial. Ryunosuke, you finally pulled it off. Congratulations. I couldn't have done it without you. Thank you, Kazama. No. It was a pleasure to watch you at work. To Yomi an extra large sukiyaki from the place on University Street. Don't forget. Good afternoon. All your hard work has paid off. Congratulations to both of you for proving Naruto-san's innocence. Ah, a trusty judicial assistant. You worked hard for that result too, you know. Oh no, I didn't do anything. Thank you so much. If we hadn't had that research report of Miss Brett's, I don't know how things would have turned out. Your kind words should really be for my father. I was simply doing as he asked. It was his idea for me to go to the university and investigate. Father, ah yes. Speaking of Mikotoba. Ah, there you are. I believe congratulations are in order. Naruhodo, you did an excellent job. Thank you, Professor. Oh no, it is I who should be thanking you. After all, your efforts exposed the true criminal that took the life of my good friend. Yes, you mentioned that before. It was you who actually invited Dr. Wilson to Yume University, wasn't it? Yes, that's right. Professor Mikotoba studied overseas himself. He went to study forensic medicine in Great Britain. Presumably that's when you met Dr. Wilson? Exactly. In those days, we worked together in the same hospital. Oh, and you worked together? I've never heard you mention that before. Well, it was a long time ago now. Besides, it's your turn, Tony. Great Britain is a magnificent country. It leads the world. In science, medicine, engineering, culture, and of course, in law. Watch and learn, my boy. See what's happening in the world's largest melting pot. I will. I'll learn all that I can. I swear on this, the spirit of the Asogi clan. You're not taking that sword to Great Britain, are you? Of course I am. A Japanese man's katana is his soul. This blade shows me where I need to go. And cuts down anything that's in its way. You're going to have a problem with that in Great Britain. I've seen how sharp it is with my own eyes. That reminds me. What's happened to the woman? To Giselle Brett, I mean. After all, she's guilty of murder. Yes, her. It's not easy to tell you this, but... What do you mean? Surely she's going to face trial herself now. She's the true culprit after all. She will be leaving Japan in the very near future. For Shanghai? Shanghai? Giselle Brett will not appear in court again in this country. I'm certain of that. Why? It's a matter of consular jurisdiction. My diction? Inspector Hosanaga. It was a hard-fought battle in the courtroom today. Very impressive to watch. I must But what's all this about consular jurisdiction? We cannot try this particular foreigner for her crimes here in Japan. We can't try her? Well then, who's going to bring her to justice? A British consular court will hear the case somewhere far away, where our voices can't be heard. Why? Professor, I simply don't understand. I thought consular courts were a thing of the past now that we've signed the Friendship Treaty. Yes, in normal circumstances you're right. And so long as this is not a serious incident of a highly political nature to our respective governments, they can't invoke consular court. Can't they? Yes, she's a student, but it doesn't justify our governments making secret agreements about her fate, does it? Something strange is going on. There's a deeper mystery here, team. Maybe she's the Swan Queen. Miss Brett can't be held accountable for her actions here in Japan. I'm afraid that for the young student, today's trial was nothing more than a game all along. There was never any danger of comeuppance for her. I don't believe it. The British government's Foreign Affairs Ministry has demanded that we hand over custody of Miss Brett. They're obviously taking this case of a foreign student committing murder very seriously. But it's all going to change from now on. We can make it change. We're going to change the world! It's a time of great turmoil. The new era heralded by the start of the 20th century. One day, I have no doubt, that woman will receive the judgment she deserves. Yes, change is coming. And we're the ones driving it. Well, I think that's enough seriousness for now. This evening calls for celebrations. Professor, you're right. There's no time for gloomy faces. We should be celebrating Unasaki's not guilty verdict. Let's start having some fun. In that case, might I suggest Le Carnival? Piss off. As the head waiter, I should be delighted to provide you with ample food and drink. You're a detective, aren't you? I really don't want you serving me food. I'm going to pass. Let's not worry about details for now. To Le Carnival! Will you accompany us, Professor? Of course. Le Carnival's food is second to none. I shall go and attend to the paperwork. Oh yes, thank you. Such a Giselle Brett won't be tried here. I've seen this. I saw this one ages ago. I knew it was there. Can't really ignore a chat full of Swanhead. I'll never find out why she killed Dr. Wilson. Kazuma. Yes. I just wanted to say thanks again. That's all. You really saved my skin. I didn't do a thing. You were the lawyer in there, weren't you? That defense was all your own work. Your skills made the difference, though. One day, I'll bet you'll be the best lawyer in the world. Not sure about that. To be honest, something kept occurring to me over and over again during the trial. I couldn't help thinking that maybe you're the one destined to become a great lawyer, not me. Be serious. If I helped you today, it was only right at the very start of the trial. But you have a natural talent for it. For being a defense lawyer, I mean. Not me. All that tense verbal combat. I never want to go through that ever again. I did what you told me to do, that's all. Because I knew I could trust you. That's the point. Sorry? What do you mean? That's the point. Listen. Do you know what the most crucial weapon is that any lawyer needs in order to win? An audience of people to help. Knowledge? No. The ability to believe. To believe? To believe in what? A defense lawyer has to fight for his clients. He has to believe in them at all times. Like you believed in me when I said I didn't do it. I'm human, just like you. I don't have some superhuman ability to know the truth. But you have to make a choice about what to believe in and to stick to it when you're defending someone. Sometimes in the courtroom, you can really be backed into a corner. Or being able to remain faithful to what you chose to believe in even then. Well, that's not something that anyone could do. It takes a special kind of person. Believing in your client. Just look at today's trial. I'm a student lawyer with precious little real experience, but you never stop believing in me. You face seemingly hopeless situations time and again, but you never stop looking for the truth. And in the end, you found it. Through your own efforts and because you never stopped believing in me. Thank you, Kazuma. We need to get ourselves a sword, don't we? So I want to ask you, actually. Well, it's a favor. Really. Something very important to me. It sounds serious. Oh, you're still here, are you? Oh, Inspector Hasanoga. I've arranged for some rickshaws for us. Let's roll. Thank you. We'll be right there. Let's pick up this conversation again later. We should be celebrating right now. Your first court victory. And your study tour to Great Britain, don't forget. Ah, yes. That too. My very first trial came to an end. Kazuma. Professor Mikotoba. Tuzatsu-san, who acted as my assistant. Oh, she didn't. Inspector Hosonaga, who didn't really play much of a part, but still. It was because of the help and support of all these people that I managed to get through that trial. But more importantly, Kazuma hadn't yet managed to ask his favor of me. Little did I realize just how much it would change my life. End! It says end. Wow. We did the tutorial! Yay! We did the tutorial. Oh my god. We managed it, team. We got through the tutorial. Extraordinary. Adventure 2, which will be tomorrow. I have my lunch in front of me and I have some work to do. I have some admin to do. Adventure 2 is the adventure of the unbreakable speckled band. Tomorrow, case number 2. We will be playing it. Yes, indeed. You better lawyer up. I have some filming to do. I have lots of things to get done. Yes, I do. Work must be commenced. So I have to go and do that. So I'm going to go and have a lunch. I hopefully will see you tomorrow. We have much love. Oh, man. What a day. What a day. Let's see how... I don't know how many cases there are. I have no idea whatsoever. I have no idea. Ben Dog Walk stream. Maybe tomorrow we can get that done for sure. Well, until then, I bid you farewell. I'm going to rest my voice a little bit. Bye, everybody.